show you how great I am.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I am the king of the world.
We'd like to welcome everybody to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. All social media is in the description box, and please hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I drop that heat. Got a shout out to two sponsors of the channel, my boy Matt. Definitely check his apparel out on IG at We All From. And my boy Fats Classic, his mixtape is in the description box. It is absolutely free. Definitely give him a download, give him a listen. Now, we're just coming off of the Deontay Wilder Dominic Breazeale fight. Lasted 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Had about 1 million views on Showtime, and Deontay Wilder gets another highlight reel knockout. Now, a lot of people expected that to happen. A lot of people wanted that to happen because we don't want to see anything get in the way of a possible mega fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. But what I would like to do today in this video is I would like to revisit the entire situation on how Dominic Breazeale became the mandatory to begin with and not Dillian Whyte. I mean, a lot of people said that Dillian Whyte didn't deserve the mandatory shot over Dominic Breazeale. And a lot of that has to do with just some people just don't like UK fighters. That's just what it is. That's the reality of it. And people are just misinformed. So what I like to do on the channel, I don't like to criticize people. I just like to bring the facts to the table. And then whatever decisions or opinions you come up with after I put the facts on the table, it's completely up to you. And the reason why I wanted to do this video, I had a long discussion with a guy from the WBC. His name is King Louis, I think. Big shout out to him. Had a real long conversation with him, probably at least 2 hours. But big shout out to him. Definitely I'll be linking up with him in the future just to do future boxing shows and just chop it up with him. Real good dude. And the thing about that whole conversation was why Dominic Breazeale was the mandatory. And it was a separation between what the WBC decided to do and what we look at in terms of what is right. And I think that's where our disconnect was. So Dominic Breazeale lasting 2 minutes and 11 seconds against Deontay Wilder. I think after that happened, a lot of people were saying Dominic Breazeale is a bum. Dominic Breazeale is somebody that AJ already fought in his 16th or 17th fight. Dominic Breazeale is garbage. So my point is, if Dominic Breazeale is garbage, if Dominic Breazeale hasn't done anything, if Dominic Breazeale wasn't worthy of the mandatory spot, according to everybody right now, then why so much hate towards Dillian Whyte getting the shot? Now, for the people that's listening, they like, oh, well, G5, you don't know what you're talking about. Dominic Breazeale fought a title eliminator, and that's how he became the mandatory. Dillian Whyte didn't fight a title eliminator, and you got to fight a title eliminator before you become a mandatory. All of those are facts. Well aware of that. But again, we're talking about what the WBC does in terms of their rules versus what is right. And this is where I'm going to put the facts onto the table. Okay. Now, Dominic Breazeale fought Eric Molina. He fought Eric Molina November 4th, 2017. That was a title eliminator to become the mandatory for Deontay Wilder's belt for the WBC. November 4th, 2017. Now, I'm going to give you a backdrop on Dominic Breazeale and Eric Molina prior to them fighting. Now, I'm going to start off with Eric Molina. Eric Molina lost the title fight. Okay? He lost the title fight. His next fight that happened after he lost the title fight was against Terrell Woods. Who? Yes, Terrell Woods. I know y'all probably asking G5, who the hell is Terrell Woods? Okay, what's his record? Terrell Woods, I don't know who Terrell Woods is. No disrespect to Terrell Woods, but I don't know who Terrell Woods is. It's just what it is. Eric Molina fought Terrell Woods September 2nd, 2017. 2 months before the Breazeale fight. Would you guys like to know Terrell Woods' record? Terrell Woods was 13 wins, 35 losses, and 7 draws. Let me repeat that for the people that didn't hear me. Terrell Woods was 13 wins, 35 losses, and 7 draws. Eric Molina fought him 2 months prior to the Breazeale fight. That fight was a 6-round fight. Not an 8-round fight, not a 10-round fight, not a 12-round fight. It was a 6-round fight. Eric Molina obviously won the fight. He didn't knock Terrell Woods out. He won a majority decision, which means he lost on somebody's card. Okay? So that's the backdrop for Eric Molina. All right? Now I'm going to go to Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale lost a title fight. His next fight after that was against Azugbe Ugonna. Azugbe Ugonna. Who? Yes, Azugbe Ugonna. 17-0. Nobody knows him. Dominic Breazeale fought him in a 10-round fight, and Dominic Breazeale won that fight by 5th round knockout. He did what he was supposed to do. Dominic Breazeale fought a guy that was 17-0 that nobody heard of. That happened February 25th, 2017. Within that time frame, the WBC decided that Dominic Breazeale and Eric Molina was worthy enough to fight in a WBC title eliminator to become the mandatory for the WBC Championship of the World. So let me get this straight. Okay? Let me get this straight. So Eric Molina was able to fight Terrell Woods, who was 13-35 with 7 draws, and he won a majority decision in a 6-round fight, coming off of a title loss, and that was good enough for him to get a title eliminator fight for the WBC Championship of the World. Okay? That's what the WBC said. Dominic Breazeale fought a guy that was 17-0. Nobody heard of him. Knocked him out in the 5th round, and that was good enough to put Dominic Breazeale in a title eliminator for the WBC Championship of the World. The WBC are setting that standard. The WBC said that those 2 victories was good enough to get them in a title eliminator. All right? So we have that established. Now let's go to Derek Chisora. Let's go to Dillian Whyte. Okay? Let's go to Dillian Whyte. This is the guy that people said didn't deserve the mandatory. We understand that he didn't fight a quote-unquote title eliminator, okay? But within that same time frame, Dillian Whyte fought the following. He fought Derek Chisora, got a split decision victory. Some people thought Derek Chisora won that fight. I ain't gonna fraud. But Dillian Whyte got a split decision victory. That was December 10th, 2016. Then after that, he fought Malcolm Tan. Malcolm Tan was 24-5. I've heard of Malcolm Tan before. Dillian Whyte gets a TKO win. That happened August 19th, 2017. And then Dillian Whyte fought Robert Helenius, who was 25-1. Dillian Whyte won a unanimous decision versus Robert Helenius. And that was October 28th, 2017. So all three of those fights for Dillian Whyte was within the time frame that Dominic Breazeale fought the guy that was 17-0, and within the time frame that Eric Molina fought a guy that was 13-35-7 and won a 6-round majority decision. In the Dominic Breazeale Eric Molina fight was November 4th, 2017. So my question is, did Dillian Whyte not do enough to give Dillian Whyte the opportunity to fight Dominic Breazeale for the title eliminator on November 4th, 2017 over Eric Molina? Let's run this back. Let's run it back. Dillian Whyte fought Derek Chisora, Malcolm Tan, and Robert Helenius between the dates of December 10th, 2016 and October 28th, 2017. Even if you want to take the Robert Helenius fight out of it because it was so close to November 4th, which was when Breazeale and Molina fought, let's just do Derek Chisora and Malcolm Tan. He fought Derek Chisora, got a split decision, fought Malcolm Tan, got a TKO victory. And Eric Molina fought Terrell Woods, who was 13-35-7, and got a majority decision in a 6-round fight. How does the WBC determine that Eric Molina was more worthy and deserving of a title eliminator versus Dominic Breazeale before Dillian Whyte? And as you can see, I'm not even mentioning the WBC Silver Championship, because the WBC Silver Championship was not won until October 28th, 2017. And Breazeale and Molina fought the title eliminator for the WBC belt on November 4th, 2017. That's too small of a gap, too close. So you can't factor in the WBC Silver title in this argument. But you can't say now that Dominic Breazeale is a bum. He's a nobody. He was just a mandatory. And Deontay Wilder shouldn't get no credit for him, when this is the same guy that Anthony Joshua fought. And it doesn't matter if Anthony Joshua fought him in his 16th or 17th fight. Doesn't matter. If Dominic Breazeale was a bum before the Deontay Wilder fight, he was a bum before the Anthony Joshua fight. You don't just become a bum. So I go back to my question. Did Dillian Whyte not deserve the opportunity to fight Dominic Breazeale in a title eliminator within that time frame over Eric Molina? I need somebody to answer that for me. I need an answer for that. And these is for the people that like Dillian Whyte, dislike Dillian Whyte, dislike UK fighters. It don't matter if you're LDBC, you're not LDBC, you from the States, you from the UK. I need y'all to answer that for me. How did Eric Molina fighting a 6-round fight majority decision victory over a guy that's 13, 35-7, deserve a title eliminator shot over Dillian Whyte, who fought Derek Chisora and Malcolm Tan within that same time frame. Okay, I put all the facts out there. I'm gonna leave that over there, and I'm gonna let y'all think about all of that. So let's just move forward. Dillian Whyte, WBC silver champion. Okay, it's a WBC silver champion, and the WBC silver champion is supposed to be an indication that you are the number one guy in the WBC. That whole entire argument that I just gave in regards to Dillian Whyte deserving a title eliminator shot versus Dominic Breazeale over Eric Molina, let me remind you, Dillian Whyte was ranked number one in the WBC that entire time. He was ranked number one in the WBC that whole time. Explain that to me. But now going forward, he's a WBC silver champion. He's still ranked the number one guy in the WBC. Dillian Whyte just watched a guy that he's better than, let's just be honest. Dillian Whyte is the better fighter over Dominic Breazeale. I've been saying that before Dominic Breazeale got the shot against Deontay Wilder. I've been saying it for a couple years. He just watched Dominic Breazeale get knocked out in 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And what does the boxing public do in response to that? They'll say, oh, well, Dillian Whyte didn't fight Luis Ortiz, so he's a punk, he's a bitch. Did the WBC sanction that as a title eliminator fight to get a shot at Wilder? No, they didn't. That was a fight that was brought up off of them talking shit on social media. And Dillian Whyte had to watch Luis Ortiz get a shot at Deontay Wilder. Luis Ortiz didn't fight a title eliminator to get a shot at Deontay Wilder. He got a shot at Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder needed a marquee fight on his resume. So Deontay Wilder chose Luis Ortiz because he was quote-unquote the boogeyman of the division. So Dillian Whyte had to watch that as well. And now, currently, they're talking about Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz rematch. Nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody want to see that shit. Even Jim Gray said it in the ring after Deontay Wilder knocked out Dominic Breazeale. Nobody wants to see that shit. And to cap it off, if Deontay Wilder does a rematch with Luis Ortiz, then Dillian Whyte will have to watch a guy that he has a better resume than get a second shot at the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. I know Luis Ortiz is, the hardcore fans' favorite in the heavyweight division, and Luis Ortiz did a good job against Deontay Wilder in the first fight. But let's get it clear. Luis Ortiz does not have a better overall resume than Dillian Whyte. Point blank period. Whether you are a UK fan, a US fan, whatever. You compare resumes, Dillian Whyte has the better resume, and Dillian Whyte has beat the better guys over Luis Ortiz. So I said all of that to say this. As a fighter, you travel a certain path to put yourself in a position to get a title shot. Dillian Whyte became the WBC silver champion, which is supposed to cement you as the number one ranked guy in the WBC. He did that. He beat Derek Chisora twice. He beat Joseph Parker, who was in a unification fight with Anthony Joshua prior to that fight happening. Now Dillian Whyte has to fight Oscar Rivas. Who? Exactly, Oscar Rivas. I know him because he beat my guy Brian Jennings, but most of the general public does not know who Oscar Rivas is. If Dillian Whyte can beat Oscar Rivas, that's another quality opponent that Dillian Whyte has beat. So my question going forward is, if Dillian Whyte holds the WBC Silver Championship, if Dillian Whyte is the number one ranked guy in the WBC, why are so many other fighters getting an opportunity at the WBC title? And on top of that, why is Dillian Whyte not getting an invitation for a title eliminator to get a WBC title shot? Now, I know y'all probably thinking, oh, well, it was just offered against Tyson Fury. We waiting on Tyson Fury's answer. Listen, Tyson Fury doesn't have to fight a title eliminator. That pay-per-view did well against Deontay Wilder in the States. All Tyson Fury got to do is say, hey, Deontay Wilder, I'm trying to be your voluntary. Let's do this rematch. And he can get a Deontay Wilder fight without fighting a title eliminator. Why fight a title eliminator when you can just go fight for the title? So again, I ask, why is Dillian Whyte not getting an invitation for a legitimate title eliminator to fight for the WBC Championship of the World when he's put himself in position to do so over the past couple of years? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.